And that's how you eat an elephant. What's going on, everybody? This is the Coverbandconfidential Podcast, the podcast for cover band musicians and band leaders to learn how to rock more and suck less. Finally back in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Adam Johnson.
And still in Greensboro, North Carolina, I'm Dan Ray. You have been on a tour.
I mean, if you can count going to Gatlinburg and back via Chattanooga, then yes.
I do.
But it was a nice little jaunt. We stayed in these really nice, cool tree houses, and as you mentioned last week on the incredible John Casale interview, there were bears
just walking around. And listen, last time I was there, we stayed in an Airbnb that had, it was a 3-bedroom condo-y Airbnb that was festooned with, I think, chainsawed wooden sculptures of bears. Bears are a whole thing in that area. And
absolutely.
And I did not encounter any actual real live ones, but you certainly did.
Yep. It is par for the course in that part of the world, especially in this season. But it was at a respectable distance. And the reason why we saw them at all was because we brought our dogs. Dogs are very good at detecting bears, believe it or not.
Yeah. That's
how we even knew that they were there. Like literally the people next to us who were on the porch at the same time we were didn't see them.
Huh.
And I wasn't going to hey, there's a bear over here. Like I wasn't going to yell at them. Because then the bears would know that we knew that they were there.
That's right. That's right. You want to be stealthy about the bears. That's the thing.
Indeed.
Key thing about bears.
Yeah. Got back on, I think Friday. It was Easter, so we had all the family things and all of that. And now I'm just back in the thick of things. I did manage to do a scripted video this week, though, which it's been a couple of weeks. Able to supplement it with our wonderful podcast content on the YouTube channel. But, NAMM starts tomorrow.
Right.
We have some of our buddies who are out there scoping things out as we speak. But there was a particular product that was updated that I was already a customer of that I'm really excited to share with you guys. And if you go to our YouTube channel on Friday, you can see some absolutely game-changing applications for using Ableton Live. It's a real big deal. And it's a lot. It's going to be tedious and time-consuming, but I think the juice will be worth the squeeze in this one.
Nice. This is the thing you've been playing with for the last few days.
Yes. I have been sharing my progress in the Patreon Slack, which has just been popping off.
Mm-hmm.
Big wins for us. We have our first female patron.
That is a massive win, honestly.
We've talked about, she's brought stuff in before, Christine Moser.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually got a patron as we were setting up for this call. Welcome to Adam. He's a brand new patron.
Not another Adam.
Yep. There's another one. You know what? You could be a patron too. All you have to do is go to our website.
First, legally change your name to Dan.
You don't have to.
Al.
But you should. We'll put the link in the show notes so that you can go and do that. That's one thing that apparently we haven't been doing the past few weeks. Make sure all the links go in.
We'll do.
And join the conversation. We're having a good time. So what's been going on with you, man?
I've been playing this weekly trivia show. My folks are in town.
Okay.
They live in Salt Lake City, and they are in town here with us for a week because it's the kids' spring break, and so they're going to spend some time with the child, which they haven't been able to do because we're across the country, so it takes something. And then we're going to go to the beach this weekend. It's going to be super nice. But they're coming to my trivia show on Thursday night. They're really excited. It's just beside themselves. They've seen me play a few times, but most of my gigging life has been here on the East Coast. I left Salt Lake City when it was, I left for college and kind of never came back. Never gigged. So they've come to some of my shows when they've been out here and timed some stuff so they could and that kind of thing. But this is the first time they've come to the trivia. They're really excited about it. And sometime back, patrons will remember, I was at the end of my rope coming up with themes. I asked my wife, what would be a good theme? I can't guess. I'm out of ideas. What's a good idea for the trivia theme? What should the theme be? She said, your mom. I was like, great, done. Your mom. Great. And so I did a show. I put together a show that was all references to moms, songs about moms.
We had a blast coming up.
Yeah, the patrons really, really had some good ideas. And so I'm reviving that one for this week's show. This week's show's theme is going to be your mom, and my mom will, in fact, be in the audience for it.
Are you doing She's a Bad Mama Jam?
I am. That is on the list. Yeah, and also the Lenny Kravitz tune.
Mama Said, which is not called Mama Said.
No, it's always
on the run.
But riff that opens, which is written by Slash originally. Yeah. Killer. Oh, so good.
And then I found a video, I don't know, whenever it was, of Guns N' Roses playing that song.
It's sitting in with that.
With Lenny, and it's got like a whole other just layer of
deep. Oh my God.
stuff on it.
Just so much strut. Yeah, it's incredible.
Seek. Well, fantastic. I mean, it's take your parents to work.
Take your parents to work day.
But there's beer.
There is beer. That's an important part of it.
It's an upside, for sure.
An upside of having a standing weekly acoustic gig worth $2 a week is that I can buy some gear again. It's been a minute since I've had a standing regular weekly gig that was funneling cash to my pocket to spend on gear.
Relatable.
But here we are. And this week I have acquired a thing that I don't know if it got noisy in the whole guitar sphere, musician sphere of the internet, or just in the Patreon Slack, but suddenly we became aware of this thing. It's the D'Addario Backline Gear Transport Backpack.
Okay.
I am currently in possession of one. Arrived yesterday. Here's the beauty. I have been used to walking into an acoustic gig with one of my PA stacks. It's Electro Voice 50 tower speaker. Works great for acoustic.
Yep.
Probably I could have gotten away with a 30 for the kind of rooms I'm doing, but the 50 is overpowered for that, and it's great. And I use a second one for the full band. I walk in with cable file duffel bag that has all kinds of cable in it. I walk in with a big long bag that carries mic stands, 2 Canon, really tough, good, portable, bulletproof mic stands that I gig with. And then a backpack that has all this little stuff, your extra strings and your bag of custom picks and in-ear monitor, and then the spares of all those and just all the junk you need. So those 3 things, the cable file with the cables, the mic stand bag, and the old backpack have all now consolidated into the D'Addario. I'm going to be traveling 2 bags lighter than I ever have. And, it's kind of a game changer. I got to say, it's an impressive bag. It's well structured, well built. It's the first backpack of this category that I've ever had that empty would stand up on its own. It has enough structure to be vertical on its own. I'm excited to use it. The one thing that I think is a little dishonest in their marketing of it is it's got this idea where you could strap mic stands to the sides of it. It's got 2 straps that you can attach mic stands to the sides of it. And that's all fine, except that the mic stands I've used, they are using some kind of extra compact collapsible mic stand that collapses down to the size of the backpack. My Canon mic stands that collapse as small as any mic stand I've ever seen are probably a third taller than the back. So they still attach to the side and carry along with the backpack, but they're not compact the way that D'Addario is kind of showing mic stand being as they're attached there. It's probably fine. It's probably not a big deal. I'll see in a couple of months if I'm super annoyed by it. Overall, I'm really excited. The main cavity of the backpack has customizable chambers that you can reshape and redesign to fit your stuff. So I spent some time yesterday getting all my stuff transferred into it, and I'm very excited to do my first show with it tomorrow night and see how it goes. I think I got everything I need in it. We'll see if I messed up and leave something at home. I don't think I will. Very excited about it. Here's the downside of it. The price of it is a lot for a backpack. It runs about $220 retail. So it's a bit of an investment, but if you're shedding 2 big bags you got to carry, kind of worth it.
It's always nice to be leaner and, dare I say, meaner.
Yeah. We'll see how mean I am. We'll find out.
Yeah, I mean, all of these things have to be sussed out.
And for me, I never have an opinion for about a year because that's how many gigs it takes to see if the zippers hold up and the seams are well built. And the proof is in the pudding, and the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So eat it for a year and then we'll see.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
So the other thing that we found out this week that was pretty entertaining is we're a big hit in Romania.
I wish I could say hello in Romanian, but even Googling the word hello.
We looked it up.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's pretty challenging. Yes, last week we were number 20 in the top music podcasts in Romania, which is always fun. I don't know what happened, but every once in a while we just get this weird spike. I think we're also charting in Tanzania this week also.
Yeah, we fell off in Ireland. We were hot in Ireland for a while.
Yep. Maybe they moved. Whoever that person was.
A listener in Ireland moved to Tanzania and then Romania. That could be. Yeah.
Maybe they just had a really long layover.
It's as good a theory as any I've got. Yeah.
Who's to say? Yeah, it's been really fun just connecting with all of y'all. Of course, you can also go to the all new coverbandconfidential.com. It's got a total overhaul, and we got to start replenishing the blogs. We lost them in the transfer. So if you are a person who has something to say about this world and you want to be a guest blogger, email us, coverbandconfidential@gmail.com. Send us an article.
That was how we met.
It's true. Dan was my guest writer. Look at us now.
Here we go.
So let's get into the meat of the conversation for this week. And it's interesting talking about Look at Us Now, because when that whole process began, we were very different people.
It's true.
And we thought different things, and it is incumbent upon us to ingest new information and life experiences, and hopefully that impacts the way that you feel about things. So, when we started this whole conversation, we were pretty confident in we're band leaders. We lead these bands. These are our projects. Some have been more democratic than others. I've always been in the benevolent dictator position, though I have been accused of being an asshole on occasion, where I was asking for input and then ignored it. And I would say for the last nearly 10 years of this project, that's worked. We've been able to build the following and a reputation and keep ourselves as busy as we want to be, but things change. And we've had conversations on past episodes about things like burnout and going through seasons where it's like, man, I'm not really looking forward to this. This isn't something that I'm like waking up and being excited for. And the thing that I feel like I've landed on is that I've been the guy for long enough. And honestly, hearing John talk about it last week, I'm ready to let some stuff go and bring my guys in.
Yeah.
For me, it's just like, I don't have the bandwidth to do all of the things. I've worn all the hats all the time.
Yep.
And I just can't right now.
Yeah.
And that's understandable, working professional, who's also a parent and a husband. I'm also doing all of this content stuff, and it's just like, it's a lot. And so in order for this project to continue on and operate at the level we can, I need help.
Yeah.
And so with our music director stepping down, it definitely opened up some conversations about, okay, well, are we going to try to find somebody else who's going to fill this role? And in the process of kind of thinking through all of these different changes, it really occurred to me, I've reached out to the guys and I'm like, cards on the table, we're going to need to have a meeting and kind of figure out who wants to do what, because I can't do it all.
Right? Yeah.
That's kind of where I've landed as of right now.
What parts of it are, and I mean like the big everything, what parts of it are non-negotiable for you? What parts do you feel like you, I don't know, need, but want to be the one to deliver on?
I think there are certain things. I mean, inevitably, I have actual assets in this project. One of the things that I think sparked this is that I went to update WordPress on our band website, and it was built around the time the band was originated. So it's, 6 or 7 years old. And I've just kind of been updating things as best I could as time went on. And apparently the shoestrings and chewing gum were not enough, and the whole site just crashed. I tried to do all the fun PHP resets and disable all the plugins, and the site is gone. So I've been rebuilding it. And that kind of lands on, okay, well, if this is changing, what else needs to be updated? What else needs to be adjusted? And so for me, I think the branding, the marketing, the design, the aesthetic, that's always going to be something that I feel pretty strongly about and want to have some say over, because it's been the thing that got us this far. But there's other stuff like just the day-to-day operations, the administrative work, those kinds of things that I don't feel need a specific personality behind. And I could easily hand it off to somebody else. So
sales, contract management, event follow-up, event advancing.
Yeah, all that stuff's up in the air.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
because I'm good at those things. I've got experience with it, but it's not rocket science. If you are in the business of building working relationships with people like you, anybody can do that.
Yeah, and so, I've worked with some organizations where there were leaders who had been around for a long, long time, and everyone sort of treated them like they were demigods, like they were entrenched, and not in a bad way. None of this is criticism, but like the people participating in the organization looked at those people like they were going to provide the leadership, and we're just here to support that. And then a couple of times I can recall those people stepped away, retired, something. And the space that was left when they stepped away enabled a lot of people to really flourish.
Yeah.
And grow in ways that they didn't even know they could, because it was a shocking thing for me to get that senior, mature leadership can be a very oppressive phenomenon.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like we've all been in a situation where somebody is quote unquote in charge, but is quite literally choking whatever their project is to death.
Well, yeah, I'm not even necessarily saying that. I'm just saying there's a way.
Well, I'm saying it.
Oh, okay, fair.
I've had crappy bosses.
Fair. Yeah, no, totally. That's a thing too. No argument. But even when there are good bosses, an entrenched bossness puts a cap on the kind of innovation that's possible.
Absolutely. And you can fall into habits and kind of work from, well, this has worked for us.
This is how we do it.
Yeah, those are relevant things.
Yeah. No, it's that experience has value, but if what you're doing in your new business operations is replaying past experience, then that's a limit on what's possible.
And that's really where I'm at. We've done things a certain way, and that way has been my way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's certain things that just need to change. And you do that by allowing other people to step into those things and to try things that have worked for them in the past, and just question the way things are done.
Yeah.
And as the person in charge, as the quote unquote boss, it requires a certain amount of open-handedness, which is a very businessy term.
Yeah.
But basically being willing to give people the reins on things and let them try stuff.
Yeah. And not without training. All that experience is valuable, but someone new is going to see it different. They're going to see different opportunities. Totally.
So that's the main thing. If we run a band, we are bosses.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way that things operate. And you want to be a good boss and not a bad boss. And sometimes the best way to do that is to just give people opportunities to step up.
Totally.
And do their thing.
Totally.
And put people that have particular skill set in charge of the things that you suck at.
Yeah.
Because I'm not good at lots of things.
Yeah.
This week has reminded me that I'm not good at Ableton at all.
Well,
and I'm trying to learn, because that might be something that does fall in my lap, because I do have, at least everybody in the group, I'm the one who's stared at it the longest.
Right.
But sometimes that's how you get the job. I feel like that's always like the running story, is that singers are never singers. They're guitar players who just became the singer because no one else would do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I got to be in charge of things. It's just that I was the person that was like, well, we need to do this, and nobody else is doing it. So I guess that's also the thing I'm doing.
Right.
This band has turned me into a web designer, apparently a terrible one, like graphic designer, video editor, music director.
Oh, content writer, so many things.
Lead vocalist, lead guitar player, rhythm guitar player, bass player. Like,
yeah. 100%.
I've done lots and lots and lots of things.
Yeah.
And it's awesome because, like, you look at bands like the Pork Tornadoes, everybody's got like a job, and they have band structure in a very specific way where everybody gets to do the thing that they're really good at. And ultimately the band is super successful because it's got 5 dudes or 4, I can't remember.
Yeah, 4-ish. I think they bring it in.
4-ish people all working hard, doing their best in the field that they're good at to make that band successful.
Yeah.
Successful they are.
Yeah.
So I would like a little bit of that. And we've had these conversations with our drummer and our guitar player. They're like, they want to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's do it. Because like I said, it's been working so far, but there's definitely things that we could be doing better. And
it doesn't have to, crucially, it doesn't have to be you doing every piece of it.
But I mean, that's the hardest thing, because you got to be willing to let go.
Yep.
And the next few months are going to be an exercise in my ability to do so.
And the thing, here's what I predict you're going to be confronted by. First, it's going to be, can I trust other people with my project?
Yeah.
You'll get over that. You'll be able to trust other people with your project before too long. But it's the first thing. The second thing is, these people are taking my project places I didn't expect it would go. Am I all right letting the project get big enough to be these other places? Maybe somebody who comes in is going to want to kind of franchise your concept, like we talked with Pizzano last week. You know, whole new territory. I want to do, I want to do a members only in Miami. I have a good friend who I went to college with, played music, whatever. He wants to get a band together, and if we can just copy and paste the brand there, boom, it'll explode. Some other person's idea that gets the project bigger than you imagined it. Like, or can you get okay with the project growing beyond your vision? That's hard. It seems like that's just good news, but for a person who generated the idea, that's hard. So these are the kind of things I think you'll need to. I'm excited to be on this journey with you because these are great things to have to confront, and I predict them in your future as you head down this path.
Yeah, there's going to be some growing pains, and yeah, it would be awesome because I can only envision the thing that I started off with.
Right, exactly.
And so somebody's ability to not be emotionally attached to what it's done so far and can just see its core components and where it can go is crazy. Yeah. And would be beneficial ultimately. We can't do this forever. I mean, we can still do it for a while, but it would be nice to be a human being sometimes also. And for this to be an actual business and not just a very expensive and financially draining hobby like the IRS thinks it is.
Right. No, the IRS, for them, financially draining. I've said to some people, in my work life, I've talked about this, like, I would call this a side hustle if I ever made money at it. Really, it's just a self-funding hobby. I know for a fact we have listeners who it's a different ballgame than that. So,
sure.
Thank God. So,
in conclusion, be willing to bring people in because sometimes you don't have to do it on your own. Sometimes you do. And there is definitely value to doing things on your own and learning new skills and jumping in feet first and learning as you go. But at some point, maybe just let somebody who's good at it do it for you.
Yeah, and let people discover,
and cut them in,
cut them in, give them, make it worth their while, and then allow people to discover skills they didn't know they had. That's a thing too,
for sure. That's where I'm at.
Love it. It's really exciting. It's really exciting. I know it's challenging. It's a lot. That act of just sort of opening your hands and letting people take your baby, tough, but boy, what a moment! What a moment in the growth of a project. Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, time will tell. Much like your D'Addario bag, we got to see how it shakes out.
That's exactly right.
How resilient is
right.
is the fabric of this group?
How well built are those zippers really?
Yep, we shall see. Well, that's all I've got for this week. We got started late and hit every speed bump I could to get here.
Yeah.
But we're also going to try and shift things to a different night because we've had to move our dates around so much. I think maybe this new setup will work. I know that you've got some weeks you're going to be off and I've got stuff where I'm not going to be available. So we're going to do what we got to do. We will adapt and overcome. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in. Said it 1,000 times. Just really appreciate all you guys tuning in every week. We've gotten some folks who are downloading the contracts and asking questions. I had a really fun conversation about contracts with one of our clients today. I will throw a pro tip out. I think this is just a fun thing to do, and everybody should do this. If you have a contract, put something that's glaringly incorrect in it. The point being that you want to make sure that people read it. And we're doing these contract negotiations with a group of people who have lawyers on their team. And so when they were like, oh, there was this thing that was written incorrectly. I was like, ha, thanks for reading. That's our thing. The trick.
It's like the M&Ms.
Well, yeah, but in this case, it's not annoying. It's or time consuming. It's just that in the enforceable section of our contract, it says state of California.
Oh.
So it's pretty innocuous. But if they don't mention it, then odds are there's stuff.
They didn't read the contract.
Exactly. So there's your pro tip for the week. Be on the lookout for the review of this thing on Friday. There'll be a discount for said product once you go and check that out. And that's pretty much it. So we'll just let Adam from the Van Band take it from here.
Sounds good.